Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise, and it's time for another one of my weapon previews. This time around, we're taking a look at the bow. In Monster Hunter World, the bow saw a significant change in its moveset when compared to previous iterations of the weapon. Charging its shots by rapid firing or dodging increased both the pace and agility of the weapon, providing a somewhat different playstyle. In Monster Hunter Rise, the weapon retains these features while at the same time introducing some new changes, such as the arc shots now providing buffs instead of dropping rocks on top of monsters and different shot types. Let's have a look. So let's start with the basics. You can draw the bow using the X button, which is a neutral draw and doesn't perform any additional actions, or you can draw the bow using the ZR button, which instantly takes a shot. Now, once you draw the bow, you can choose from a selection of coatings, depending on the bow that you have. For this particular demo, you have access to pretty much every coating known to man, at least it definitely looks like that. And the way you access those, you press the left bumper as you used to, and you press X and B. So this hasn't changed that much from previous titles. Now, one of the things that has changed is that you can no longer select coatings by using the D-pad, which I believe was the case back in Monster Hunter World. This time around, the D-pad is reserved to this little blue action bar that you have on the bottom. Now, once you select the coating that you want, you can press X again, and that applies the coating. The coating this time also affects your melee attacks, which you can perform by pressing A. So these actually deal a considerable amount of damage for a bow. As a matter of fact, there's even a Team Darkside speedrun where they beat the crap out of a Great Azuchi using nothing but bow melee attacks. The melee attacks are also affected by the skill bind Herculean Draw, for those of you who saw the showcase video, but we will be talking about Herculean Draw later in this video as well. Now, the other melee attack that you can do is if you aim your bow and you dodge in any direction and press X, this does the same melee attack that you used to have in World, and this particular attack also does mounting damage, which in this game is the damage that shows up with little blue aura around it, which eventually enables wyvern riding. So keep these things in mind. These are your melee options. Although, let's be completely honest, if you're playing the bow, you shouldn't be using melee all that often, now should you? So, how do we actually shoot the damn thing? We're going to press ZL to aim and ZR to do your basic shot. Now, an important thing here is, if you've been paying attention to my other videos where I talked about the melee weapons, you'll notice that ZL was also the button for using the, what are they called? Silkbind actions. So, how do you use Silkbind actions with a bow? Or, now that you mention it, with a light bowgun or heavy bowgun? Well, they changed it, and now you use the R button on the ranged weapons, and it's only on the ranged weapons. You use the R button or the right bumper button on your controller, and then you select the Silkbind ability you want to use. So if I press R plus X, you get this. Okay, but we'll talk more about the Silkbind abilities further in the video, as usual, because I like to start with the basics. So, the shot. What's the main difference between the shots in this game and in World? I have no friggin' idea, dude. You think I play bow? Like, I played bow for like 5 minutes in World. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I did ask my good friend Kegrin, and he told me that basically in Monster Hunter Rise, you have 3 shots when you do your standard shots, just like you had in World. And those shots are rapid, piercing, and rapid again. And it works kind of like the same way if you go into power shots. So if you do a power shot as your second shot, it is also going to be piercing. But other than that, the power shots are going to very much be just rapid shots. So if you go all the way to the end and then you press power shot, you'll get this. So that's like the 5 shots that you can do. And as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and eat food real quick, because very important thing, whenever you shoot your bow, you spend stamina. All of you bow mains out there will know about this, so I don't have to explain that part. But you can do this particular sequence of attacks if you want to do like 5 attacks in a row. Although it seems that the most ideal way to go about it, Kegrin tells me, I don't actually know, is to fire twice and then press A twice to go into 2 power shots, which appears to be 2 rapid shots. Or if you want to get that piercing shot on the power shot, you can do fire, and then, oops, and there we go. This is a delay that I have on my controller. I'm very sorry. I don't know why it happens. It only happens on this weapon, but I have some serious problems with this weapon, because the arc shot is only supposed to happen if you press right trigger and A at the same time. However, for me, It just happens all the time, even if I'm not pressing the right trigger. Don't ask me why. It happens way too often. I'm not sure if it's something with the game, if it's something with my controller. It's probably my controller because my Pro Controller has been extremely disappointing on the Nintendo Switch. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, continuing onwards, as I was saying, you can also do shot and then into 2 power shots, and that will give you 1 piercing shot and a rapid shot if you want to have a piercing power shot. So those are kind of like your shot options. Naturally, the more you shoot, just like in World, the more your shots charge until you reach the maximum of 3 and it resets, which is why, you know, if you want to really maximize your damage and you want to keep rapid firing, you go shot, 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 and then power shot with A, power shot with A, and you know, those last 2 power shots are going to be charged. As a matter of fact, let's say you want to know how much can I really fire out by just standing still and not changing anything. If I can just stand still, what's the most that I can fire out? Well, you can do shoot, 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 A, and then X plus A for a Dragon Piercer. And the Dragon Piercer will be fully charged. Dragon Piercer is also affected by the level of your shot. So like, obviously, if you want to deal maximum damage with Dragon Piercer, you want to be at least level 3. You can also charge your shots by aiming the bow and then dodging sideways. As you can see, that also charges. You charge twice, you get the maximum charge. So that's another option that you can do. There goes another arc shot that I didn't want it to do, but it is what it is. I might as well talk about arc shots while we're at it. So arc shots in this game do not come out automatically. So in World, arc shots would come out automatically if you just pressed A after a certain number of shots. Not A. If you press the circle button or the spread shot, or whatever it was, after a certain number of shots. In this game, no. Every shot that you take is a shot. Whether that's right trigger or the A button, it's always a shot. In order to get the arc shot, you have to hold the right trigger or have a bad controller like me and then press A, and that is going to do an arc shot. And as you can see, it puts down some green stuff. So this is a heal. So basically you can heal yourself by doing arc shot with this bow, but we've seen in the showcases that different bows might give you different buffs. As a matter of fact, in the showcase, this specific bow gives you a red buff, which I assume is attack up. So that makes me wonder if potentially bows can be customizable in the final game and you can change what they do. And then you can change, okay, so this particular bow is going to give you the healing arc shot. And then you can change it and now the bow gives you attack up if you want to. But, you know, that is what we currently have in the demo. We can only really do healing arc shots. Or if we can change the way the arc shot works in the demo, let me know, but I highly doubt it. You can also heal your teammates with this, not just yourself. And according to Kegrin, once again, it is faster for you to actually do an arc shot than to sheath your bow and heal yourself. So keep that in mind. And this heal is actually pretty powerful. It's a regen. It's not like an instant heal, but it is reasonably powerful. So, you know, usually what I've been doing, and it is, like I said, according to Kegger, one of the best ways of firing is shoot, shoot, power shot. I mean, I try to do power shot, and I can guarantee you I wasn't pressing ZR, but, you know, sometimes arc shots come out. Power shot, power shot. Then after that, you can dodge and do it again. Now, it took me a little bit longer to dodge, but if you dodge, you can maintain the charge level. You can dodge again and fire again, although I kind of ran out of stamina halfway there. But when you run out of stamina, that's when you might want to consider using one of your Silkbind arts, which is actually really good. It has invincibility frames, and it also regenerates your stamina if you stand still after using it, and that is the X Silkbind art, which is called Focus Shot. I don't know why they call it Focus Shot. It's not really a shot, but if you then stand here for a little bit, you can see that your stamina regenerates at a very fast pace. Now, I dodged sideways because if you are shooting before you perform this particular action, which, like I said, is R plus X, you can choose the direction in which you dodge. So you can dodge backwards, or you can dodge sideways. Okay? So keep that in mind in case you want to dodge a monster in a specific direction. So long as you are shooting, you can choose the direction. If you are not shooting, by default, you will dodge backwards. Okay? The other move that you have eats up both of your wire bugs, and it is the R plus A, and that is the Herculean Draw. and that increases the amount of damage that you deal. So this is kind of like an upkeep buff that you want to keep up as long as you possibly can, because, you know, bow is one of those weapons that you want to basically try to deal as much damage as you possibly can at all times. And I know you want to do that with all weapons, but particularly with bow, you want to optimize your coatings, you want to optimize all of the things that you possibly can, and you have to land most of your shots because otherwise you're going to be doing some pitiful damage. Speaking of pitiful damage, if you are struggling to deal damage in this demo with the bow, do remember bow is one of those weapons that is highly affected by elemental damage, which we do not have in this particular demo. There isn't really a whole lot else to say about the bow. I like the fact that they changed the arc shot because, like I've mentioned previously, there were a bunch of hunters in Monster Hunter World that would just like make it rain all the time with the friggin' rocks and cause everybody to flinch, even though after a certain point everybody was running around with brace, so it didn't matter that much. But still, a lot of players tended to go for that arc shot despite the fact there wasn't optimal damage. And this almost feels like a way for Capcom to be like, no, change the way that you're playing, okay? You should be using your shots more so than your arc shots. Your arc shots is more like a situational type thing, all right? So I'm very glad that that particular change was made, particularly if you can get attack up with the bow, and hopefully you can get a couple of more bonuses. Maybe you can choose between affinity, maybe you can choose other different buffs that they could potentially provide you with on the bow. I think that would be interesting. I know that some people look at this and be like, oh, does that mean that bow is becoming a support weapon? Because whenever another weapon buffs another player, people tend to go like, oh, support weapon. And I'm pretty sure the bow is still going to be a powerhouse, just like it was in Monster Hunter World, because it has all of those fancy dodges that keep your shots charged and all of that stuff, and I'm pretty sure that people are going to make it work and it's going to deal crap tons of damage as it did. I don't really have a strong opinion on it because I just don't tend to play ranged weapons all that much, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit it with a like. If you did not enjoy it, hit it up with a dislike because feedback is important. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay strong, stay safe, peace out.